Hello! Today I have a video about sleep paralysis. I have my smartphone hanging from a lamp right now. It's not actually on a stand. My phone is literally floating right now. You guys are floating above my desk on my lamp. So every time I write, the screen's gonna shake, and I'm sorry about that. Okay, so I think my sleep paralysis problem started around high school. That's when I got my first episode of sleep paralysis. But before then, I was always prone to getting other types of sleep problems, nightmares. These are not categorized as part of sleep paralysis, but I always got nightmares, night terrors, which are these moments where you suddenly wake up in the middle of the night. There is no nightmare associated with the night terror. You just wake up to maybe a loud sound. You hear a boom and you wake up. And it's still scary, but you don't know why you're scared. You just wake up with this feeling of terror. But sleep paralysis it's really cool. It's a way that your body protects itself when you're asleep. Basically, when you're experiencing sleep paralysis, you are awake, but you cannot move your muscles whatsoever. You're just literally lying there. And sometimes your eyes are open. And you're awake. You know you're awake, but you cannot move your muscles. And sometimes it feels like there's something heavy lying on your chest as well. Like there's a weight on your chest. And sometimes for people that can be very terrifying. It can be difficult to maybe control your breathing. I know it feels like I have a weight on my chest, so I have trouble breathing sometimes. It's not so much that it's painful to breathe, but my breathing feels like it's being constrained or being forced to follow a certain rhythm. I can't breathe faster. I can't breathe faster than a certain rate or as deeply as I want to because I have this weight, this imaginary weight on my chest. And sometimes these experiences of sleep paralysis are scary, but it can even be even more terrifying if you happen to hallucinate while you're experiencing sleep paralysis, which is what happens to me. I hallucinate. I start seeing things and hearing things like literally, it sounds like demonic voices. But the weird thing is when I have sleep paralysis, if I listen hard enough to the voices, what they say doesn't make sense. I've literally heard people speaking in Vietnamese or Korean. I don't understand Korean, but it sounds like Korean. I can't explain it, but it's really strange hallucinations. And then sometimes when that happens, it's downright funny. It's just downright funny because what you're hearing doesn't make sense. It sounds scary, but if you really listen to the words, it doesn't make sense. Hearing foreign languages. I think the experience is different for everybody. I haven't found like any Wikipedia articles or anything where people have told me that they've had the same experience, but I do hear people speaking in foreign languages when I have sleep paralysis. Sometimes you see scary things. Don't know if this looks scary or not. But yes, hallucinations sometimes do occur. And it's really bad when the sleep paralysis becomes a nightmare. Like sometimes I have sleep paralysis and what I think happens is I fall back asleep So I'm actually dreaming. And at this point, when I'm dreaming, I dream that I wake up. That's the worst thing that can happen to me. I dream that I wake up and I think I'm awake. And then I slip into a phase of lucid dreaming, which is hyper-realistic dreams where you think you're awake, or it feels like you're awake, but you're not. Sometimes you know you're dreaming, but it feels extremely realistic. And when you enter a state of lucid dreaming, sometimes you can control your dreams. But if you're not aware that you're still asleep and you're lucid dreaming, it can be pretty scary. So there's sometimes where I am in sleep paralysis, and what I think happens is that I fall back asleep and I enter lucid dreaming, and then it becomes a nightmare after that, a really realistic nightmare. Then it just gets terrible. That's like the worst thing that can happen there. So I just made this video to talk about sleep paralysis because what I found is that for me it is linked to stress. When I'm having a really, really stressful night, or if I've messed up my sleeping schedule somehow, if I don't sleep consistently on a particular night, I'm more prone to get sleep paralysis. I found that for me, if I sleep on my back, well, back in high school what I found was when I was sleeping on my back, I tended to have more nightmares and more occurrences of sleep paralysis. But what I found now is in college, it's not always the case. I've been getting sleep paralysis sleeping even on my side now. So that's a change. But sometimes posture, I think, may have some kind of effect on that. So sleep paralysis is linked to stress. I'm pretty sure that same way that nightmares are linked to stress. And when you first get sleep paralysis, not everybody has to go through this, but if you ever get your first experience with sleep paralysis, it's really scary because it feels like you absolutely have no control. And it's true, you absolutely have no physical control whatsoever of your body. You're literally just tied down to the bed, and you try so hard to move a single finger, and you absolutely cannot move even a single finger. And, well, I'm not quite sure there's a way to break sleep paralysis. I mean, if somebody happens to squeeze my hand when I'm experiencing this, then I wake up and I'm able to move again. I don't know why. People have told me that it's an old Asian folk remedy, I guess. They told me to try to twitch a finger, but I found that when I do this, I'm actually unable to, and I'm hallucinating that I'm moving my finger and waking up, but I'm actually still in sleep paralysis. So that didn't work either. So the best thing you can do is wait it out, and whatever you're experiencing, know that it's all in your head, and you've watched this video so you know what's happening to you. If you're hearing voices, it's okay. It's not the devil talking to you, it's just a phase that you're going through, and it will pass eventually. And those scary voices cannot hurt you. And whatever nightmares that you're having, they cannot hurt you. So I just made this video to describe what it feels like to have sleep paralysis, should you ever, unfortunately, have to go through this experience. Because, for me, it's related to stress. And I have been getting it a lot more ever since coming to college. I just thought it would be helpful to know, for you to know what may be happening to you. And that's the end of my video.